All right, guys, this one is Spooky Miner. We've done several of these baked bean forks in the last several days, high fees, um, sketchy communities, things like that. This one is probably the closest fork to baked beans I've seen yet. Um, it's actually on the Fantom network, which I like to see. The other ones have been Avalanche or Polygon with Matic. So it's nice to see a Fantom one, but this one is probably the closest thing you're gonna see to baked beans so far until baked beans releases some of their own on these different chains. But I'm sure even those they're gonna make some improvements or modifications. So um, if you're looking for an alternative outside of baked beans, which I don't know, if you've got some Fantom lying around that you want to throw in something that's like baked beans and you don't want to wait until baked beans, release something on another chain, this might be a good option. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to go too deep into it because I reviewed the code and I'll show that to you in a minute, but it is almost identical except for, of course, this dev fee. I'm happy it's not 8% like those other few that are um, on Avalanche and Matic, but it's still not the 3% like baked beans. I appreciate that they're not 8%, but they're still not 3%. I still think it's too high. Um, I've got a few Fantom laying around. I'll probably just throw them in here though and start building them up. This thing launched yesterday and it's got almost 76,000 Fantom tokens in here. But other than that, it's identical. I mean, except for the color, icons and stuff, it's the exact same thing. They added a bit more text down below and just saying, hey, do the 6-to-1 ratio, I want to say bake, but build skeletons 6 days a week and then sell the bones on that extra 1 day. Yeah, I mean, these things are so down to even the icons in the bottom are kind of taken from baked beans, because this is actually a Binance Smart Chain icon, and I've seen several of the other ones. I think even the Ruby Miner one has that. I can't remember if it's Ruby Miner or another one. I think several of them have that down there. Let me just have a quick peek. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but yeah, they don't. I know that. Maybe it was the Vineyard. Yeah, the Vineyard on Polygon, they still have that same icon, the Binance Smart Chain icon. But I mean, that doesn't really matter too much. I mean, it's just a contract link. So this is going to work exactly the same way. It's just you're going to make a bit less. I mean, you'll make more than like Ruby Miner or the Vineyard, because you are not having as high of fees, but it's still not the same fees as baked beans. And we're not even going to talk about cooked rice because their community is garbage, and just banning people left and right just for asking little questions. So I'm just kind of forgetting about those guys. I'll keep the 6-to-1 ratio over there. People have asked, what should we do? Just keep doing the same ratio. Playing the thing. I'm hopeful they don't rug. I'm still. When I view that medium article over there on cooked rice, I wonder if they're going to. I don't think they will. I don't know. I guess we'll see. If it ever peaks and starts going down, that's when I get worried. But the contract balance has still been going up a bit, so that's when you have to worry about rugs. Is when the contract balance gets to the top and starts declining slightly. That's when they're more likely to rug, because that's kind of their exit point. So just watch that. With Spooky Miner, I just wanted to show you guys, I did review the code. They released yesterday they release before having an audit done. Let me make that a little bit smaller so it'll actually fit on the screen over here. All right, so we have, I'm pretty sure the one on the left is baked beans. Yeah, the one over here is baked beans. The one for the spooky miner is on the right here. You can see that they just changed some of the names. Let me just point out some of the differences. The only differences I see are the fee here went from 3 to 6%, so it doubled that. So be aware of that. The only other difference in the code, I mean, they changed names. That's what they've changed. Instead of eggs, they changed to bones, which, you know, isn't a big deal, whatever. And the only other change they made is, it's actually up here further. It's in one of the libraries. I don't know why. They added an extra line here, which it actually isn't needed. It doesn't really matter there. Oh, it's near the bottom. Let's see. At first I'm like, wait, what's that big difference there? I think it was just, oh, yep, it's right here. This if statement, they've got some comments above it. That's the only difference they have. This code is actually the same on both. It's just they added these 2 lines of comments. They've added some spaces on if statements, which a lot of, let me see if they did on all of them. Yeah, I think there's only one if statement, so it's just a coding practice. They probably formatted it and it'll add that space after the if, between the if and the arguments. Yeah, they did it there as well. So yeah, those are the only differences. They changed the names. They haven't gotten their audit back yet. It should be back tomorrow from Hayes, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's really worth anything because, you know, I can see in the code exactly what's changed from baked beans, and there's nothing different. So if they get this audit back and they say there's some kind of backdoor or something, then we should all be worried about baked beans, which I don't think is going to happen. So, you know, I don't know. I don't like that fee. It is lower than 8%, but 6% is still pretty high. It's double what baked beans is, but I'll still throw a little bit in there. I'll leave a link to the project. And the best thing is, like, I got into the group and they were like happy to see me there. And, you know, I asked about the audit and they explained what they were doing about the audit. You know, it was actually, you know, I saw the owner in there, and yeah, just seems like a good group of people over there. So, you know, yes, it's a direct clone of baked beans. And I know a lot of people are waiting for those dApps to release on these different chains from the baked beans team. And I am fully, you know, go baked beans, but I also, you know, I look at other investments. And, you know, I'm happy for people that can, you know, launch these things and get them going. You know, a lot of people see these as like, hey, you're just forking from this other thing, you're copying people's code. It's all over DeFi. There's so many, you know, we saw it with all the ROI dApps. We see the Titano forks, we see the Tomb forks, the Pancake Swap forks. I mean, there's just so many copies of things out there. I do like seeing something on a different chain like Fantom. It seems like when all these forks started coming out with baked beans, they kind of ignore Fantom, so it's nice to see something over on that chain. Anyway, guys, yeah, tell me what you think of Spooky Miner. I mean, it's basically a exact replica of baked beans over on Fantom. You know, this isn't financial advice. I'm not saying what you should or shouldn't do. I know we have a lot of diehard baked beans. It's like baked beans are nothing. But there are options out there. And when baked beans releases on different chains, I'll probably jump in those too, because it's a great team. but I see a great team behind the Spooky Miner thing, and I'm interested to see what they're going, if they're going to do, you know, if they're using this as a springboard to something else, or if they're just using this as just to, you know, ride the wave of the baked beans team. So yeah, that's one thing that I'm curious about. Maybe somebody from the Spooky Miner can clarify in the comments. You know, what's the future look like for the team here? Anyway, guys, go ahead and like the video if you like it. Hit subscribe if you want to subscribe. You know where the red button is. Hit the bell if you want to be notified of new videos coming out. And we'll catch you on the next one.